Breaking immigration news, the Trump administration is bringing back an immigrant registry, which would require undocumented immigrants who were over the age of 14 to register their personal information with the U.S. government. And if they fail to do so, they would face criminal charges or fines. Let's break down what this is, who it impacts, and what it all means. Information on the registry can be found on uscis's website, and it essentially states who needs to register for the registry and who doesn't. The list of people who don't need to register are listed below, and it includes lawful permanent residents or green card holders, individuals who are paroled into the United States, as well as individuals who entered the U.S. on visas and have I-94s, and even if they overstayed their visas, they do not need to register for the registry. Individuals who are placed in removal proceedings or immigration court do not need to register, as well as people who've ever been issued a work permit. And anyone who may have already applied for lawful permanent residence status through the I-485 form or other forms, even if they were denied, they don't need to register for the registry. And the same goes for individuals who were issued border crossing cards. Per this announcement, you have to register if you're over the age of 14 and you've been in the United States for more than 30 days. Parents must also register children who are under the age of 14 that fall within that category, and anyone who turns 14 has to re-register. And you're essentially not registered if you fall within the categories listed below, and that basically means anybody who entered the United States without inspection, like crossing the border without a visa. It also lists Canadians who entered the United States that were not issued evidence of registration, as well as individuals who have submitted requests for DACA or TPS. Now, according to this announcement, starting February 25th, 2024, DHS is going to announce how to register, and people will have to create an online USCIS account in order to register. Now, the law that DHS is relying upon is not a new law. It actually exists within the Immigration and Nationality Act, but it dates back to the 1940s when the U.S. government was using it in order to track down suspected communists. And having a registry at that time proved to be very costly, so they stopped using it. Now, President George W. Bush did revive a registry post 9/11. It essentially required individuals from Muslim-majority countries to register with the U.S. government, and it led to significant deportations of individuals from those countries. The program was widely criticized, particularly because it resulted in significant discrimination and racial bias, and it was ultimately rescinded by the Obama administration. The purpose behind this registry is very clear. It's really about scaring people into leaving the United States through quote-unquote self-deportation. And it's also very clearly about expanding arrests and mass deportations, which all falls in line in Trump's immigration policy, which is essentially to quote-unquote crack down on illegal immigration. And by creating things like this registry, he's essentially making it even more difficult for immigrants to remain in the United States. Now, realistically, it's probable that most immigrants will not register. The government doesn't even know where all undocumented people are, so enforcing something like this is going to be very difficult. And if you're undocumented, it's really important to get legal advice before completing any sort of registry. And I'm sure we'll be getting more information on this particular move as the days move forward, so feel free to follow us for more immigration news and information.